The delegate from Hampton, Delegate Cordoza.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for a point of personal privilege.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today is the third day of Black History Month, and in this year, we as a people have made significant strides by representing more people and more communities than ever before. I'm proud to say that I've contributed to these strides by becoming the first Black delegate of the 91st District and the only African American to represent Caucus as a legislator. I started my interest in politics after high school when I worked as a field manager on the campaign to elect our nation's first Black president, Barack Obama. After that, in college, a professor asked me why I was a Democrat. My first response was, I'm Black. And he replied to me, do you believe what they believe? He then described to me both parties' political philosophies, but without telling me which ideas belong to each party. As as many African Americans would, chose a more conservative ideology. My professor then said, congratulations, you're a Republican. Once my eyes were open, I was able to see that what I had been taught was not true. Soon after, when I told my peers that they questioned my quote-unquote blackness. Yet I was the same person that I was the day before. The only difference was that my political opinions had changed. When I came to this assembly, I expected to be welcomed with open arms by my brothers and sisters in the legislative Black caucus. Instead, I was rejected by a vote. While I'm sure a few of my brothers and sisters voted for me to join them, the majority did not. This was disheartening, but not shocking. The questionnaire for entry had little to do with being Black and had more to do with being leftist. The first question asked if I support or opposed using public school dollars to support private school initiatives. Basically, am I for school choice? Then later, the form asked what my top 3 environmental justice priorities were. Towards the end, it asked if I opposed any item on the agenda. So I went to look it up, and here are some of the highlights. Reform the recall process to end harassment. That suggests that the voters' right to recall elected officials who are not doing the job to the satisfaction of the people who sent them there is a form of abuse or harassment. Repeal sovereign immunity, which will result in our police force diminishing. Protecting workers by protecting collective bargaining rights. Basically turning our state into a union state with union bosses, a state where workers won't have the choice but to be in a union. Protect measures to help mitigate COVID-19 impacts, basically preserving mask mandates. Protect abortion coverage in the health exchange. That one's pretty clear. Protect Virginia's transition to 100% clean energy and clean air standards. Maintain Virginia membership in the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative. Protect legislation requesting a study on transportation equity, efficiency, and modernization, and protect the legislation implementing pipeline accountability and oversight. Equity in development infrastructure for renewable energy. And most disheartening, protect gun safety legislation such as one handgun a month, the locality's ability to ban firearms in public buildings, and banning firearms at polling places. These questions, particularly, are a spit in the face of our ancestors who fought to have all of our rights guaranteed. As many of you know, Martin Luther King, Jr. applied for a permit to carry a gun to protect himself. He was denied, and he was killed without the ability to protect himself. Ida B. Wells once said, a Winchester rifle should be proudly displayed in every Afro-American home, and it should be used for that protection which the law refuses to give. I ask myself, what any of those things mentioned have to do with being black? The answer is it has nothing to do with being black. It's about being leftist. And that means that the caucus is not about being black, it's about being leftist. Yesterday, one of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle said that we want black voices at the table. Well, my black voice came to the table and it was rejected. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't know what I should do. I'm a legislator, I'm black, and I want to help the black community. Maybe I need to start my own caucus, the Virginia Non-Leftist Black Caucus. Right now, it'll be a caucus of one, but that's okay. As Thoreau said, any man more right than his neighbors constitutes a majority of one already. I'm proud to be a majority of one. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.